Hello, this is your special education virtual content specialist here with the 7th grade lesson for Friday, March 26th. As a reminder, this lesson and all other lessons can be found on TeachHub. And for teachers, we provide the unit, the day of the unit, the title, the focus question, the learning objective, the standards, and the objectives of each lesson. We also provide instructional and technology guidance for using the resource, implementation guidance for each slide of the lesson, guidance for summarizing, guidance for assessment during instruction, and general methods of engaging students with disabilities and multilingual learners. So 7th graders are working on Unit 7, Angles, Triangles, and Prisms, Day 19, Slicing Solids, Part 2. What can you learn about a three-dimensional object by slicing it? The introduction is going to ask students to examine the three-dimensional image, and so they're going to be asked to write down 3 things that they notice about the image. So it could be that it is a rectangular-based pyramid, or that it's made up of 2 triangles and 3 rectangles, or that the base is rectangular. So those are some example responses. And to support students with the second question, if you slice the shape parallel to its base, how does that cross-section compare to the base? You might want to draw what that looks like. For the Explore, you're going to provide student with this direct information. Yesterday we learned how we can slice a 3-dimensional figure parallel to the base. We can also slice a cross-section of a 3-dimensional figure that is perpendicular to the base. A plane that cuts the prism parallel to the bottom and top faces is shown here. Additionally, a plane that cuts the prism perpendicular to the bottom and top faces is shown. You also want to remind students that there are other ways you can use a plane to slice a 3-dimensional figure, and they're going to explore that in the next activity. So students are shown the following cards, and they are going to write down what they notice. So there are a bunch of things that they can notice, and those noticings will help them in the next portion of the activity. So to support students with disabilities in this portion of the Explore, they have conceptual processing issues, so you might want to give them processing time. So check in with individual students as needed to assess for comprehension during each step of the activity. And you might want to assign peer tutors for students who have receptive and expressive language issues. So pair students with their previously identified peer tutors, if you have done this in a previous lesson, to aid in comprehension and expression of understanding. And so students are asked to examine the images below by using the cards below and from the previous slide. Students are going to sort the images into groups that make sense to them and have them think, what do they have in common? They're going to write the letter representing the card in the table and to write a description and reasoning for why they chose to group these images together. And so as an I do, you might want to choose triangular cross sections. I'm going to put cross for short. And you can say that the letters C, D, H, and L all have triangular cross sections. As a we do, for example, you can give them the group of the category, which can be parallel cross sections. So not only can they think about the shape, they can also think about how the plane is slicing through the solid. And so After the we do, you can have students work in their pairs or in small groups for groups 3 and 4 of the groupings. And so answers are going to vary for this activity, and so they can group the cross sections based off of them being parallel, based off of them being perpendicular, or being oblique to the base. Additionally, they can do it from the other shape, which is the cross section is a quadrilateral, or they can say what type of figure it was. So if it's a rectangular prism, a triangle-based pyramid, a square-based pyramid, or a triangular prism. And for the summary, students are going to answer, what can you learn about a three-dimensional object by slicing it? So you can support them with a sentence starter, and then they can complete the cool down. So that will be your exit information to see if they understand the activity from yesterday and today. If students require additional practice, low-level learners can complete Khan Academy's cross-section of 3D objects basic. Medium-level learners can complete the Open Up resources practice problems, and the high-level learners can complete the Engage New York Module 6 Lesson 16 exit ticket. As with all resources, we provide the citations for what was used so you can further investigate and utilize them for your own students. If you have any questions, reach out to your virtual content specialist. Thank you.